and welcome. We are talking about the newest T20 kid in the town, and this time we are talking about a kid that is born in Europe, European T20 Premier League. And joining me at this hour are two stakeholders of this league, Steve Waugh, all-round former ICC World #1 Test and ODI all-rounder and also former Australia captain, and Abhishek Bachchan, global sports entrepreneur. Abhishek and Steve, thank you very, very much for talking to us. I'll come to you first. Abhishek, tell us a little bit about, what is the Australian connection with the European T20 League?
Well, we're here in Sydney to announce the first 3 franchises for the ETPL. The teams from Amsterdam, the team from Edinburgh, and the team from Belfast, and they all have an Australian connection. It's an absolute honor not just to be sitting right next to him, but to have Mr. Steve Waugh come on board as one of the owners in the Amsterdam League called the Amsterdam Flames. And we felt that it would be wonderful to come down here to Australia to announce the ETPL and the initial 3 teams. The balance 3 teams are going to be hopefully announced next month. But this was more to make a statement that the ETPL, although being played in Europe, is a global league. And when you have greats of the game like Mr. Waugh, I think it's only befitting that we come here and show our support to him when he announces his team.
Abhishek, before we go over to Steve, I'll have to ask you, when is this the first edition of the league going to be held, and who are the other owners you're looking at?
Well, the league kicks off on the 26th of August this year, and the league will be played across 2 centres, which is Dublin and the Netherlands, to start with in the initial season. And currently we have locked in and we're announcing 3 teams. The other 3 are in extremely advanced stages of the paperwork. Once that is completed, I'll be at liberty to announce them. There are obviously a lot of NDAs in place, so it wouldn't be correct of me to tell you their names right now.
Steve, tell us about your connection with a team from Netherlands.
Yeah, look, I'm one of the part owners of the Amsterdam Flames. It's a consortium based out of Australia. I've got 2 other partners, Tim Thomas and Jamie Dwyer, who's a legendary Australian hockey player with connections to Amsterdam. So this opportunity came up a couple of months ago. I haven't really been involved too much in cricket over the last 20 odd years. I've done some mentoring and leadership things, but this is an opportunity I couldn't really pass up to be part of a startup league in Europe, really the last frontier of cricket in the world, taking the global game to Europe, and to be involved with Amsterdam is really exciting. We've got some incredible Australian cricketers who have already signed up for a franchise, including Mitch, Marsh as a captain, Steve Smith, and we have the Dutch captain in Scott Edwards. So we've made some really incredible signings. But what excites me is the potential for cricket in Europe to really take off. Each team has got to have 7 continental players in their team. So it's a chance to develop those players. And you can imagine, the Dutch players we've signed up playing alongside Mitch Marsh and Steve Smith. It's really going to fast track their process, their progress. So that's exciting from my point of view. Also to engage with fans, to get fans from all around the world to support this league and to support the Amsterdam Flames. It's a really incredible opportunity to develop the game.
Well, the most prominent Dutch player in India today is Ryan ten Doeschate, who's also the assistant coach of the Indian cricket team. Well, Abhishek, do tell us a little more about this league as to how it will be different from all the other T20 leagues that we see across the globe, and the most popular one, of course, being the Indian Premier League.
Well, I think the first and most obvious difference is that it's going to be played in Europe. Europe actually does not have a T20 franchise-based cricket league, and we're the first of its kind. When we were putting everything together to know that, Asia, Africa, Australia, North America all have organized T20 cricket franchise leagues being played, and Europe didn't. And we saw a huge amount of potential, and say with great pride. To see that Italy has qualified for the T20 World Cup goes to show you that the kind of talent there is available and the potential in Europe. Europe is a huge sporting market, and for them not to be part of the cricket bandwagon, I thought was not correct, and we wanted to change that. We see a huge amount of potential. We see a huge amount of potential for growth, and also to discover and to bring through a system some wonderful new cricketers from these European nations who can go onto the world platform and make a huge difference.
Steve, you just spoke about Smith joining this league. Would you say, given the way he's performing in the Big Bash, it's a miss that he's going to be missed in the T20 World Cup?
Look, he certainly wouldn't be able to place on that stage right now. I think he's playing the best T20 cricket he's ever played. He's been a standout in the Big Bash. His test form is always amazing. But the thing I most like about Steve Smith is that he commits 100% to every game of cricket he plays. It doesn't matter whether he's playing for his local club side, a Big Bash team, a one-day team, or a test side. You know that he's fully committed, and that's the sort of player we want on the Amsterdam Flames team. And that's why we went for Mitch Marsh, because he's a real team player. He likes building a culture. He's interested in building a successful franchise, and that's the type of people we want involved in our organisation.
And would you say that Australia is going to miss him at the World Cup?
Yeah, well, Australia have got a very good team, and it's pretty obvious because he's not even in that squad. So, look, if there was an injury to one of the batsmen, I think that he might get the call up the way he's playing at the moment. So he wouldn't be able to place in the World Cup right now, that's for sure.
Abhishek, I'll have to ask you about the other, very, very big star who's not playing T20 cricket now. Do you think that having Virat Kohli a part of this league is something that you would want to, you are already thinking about?
Listen, to have somebody of the stature of Virat or any of the Indians that play currently would be immense. They're some of the finest cricketing talent in the world, and they'd be a huge feather in the cap of the ETPL. But as we all know, players that have central contracts with the BCCI are not permitted to play in any other league. But to have somebody like Virat or any of the Indian team would be fantastic. We know it's not possible right now. But more than that, to have these world greats come and play the ETPL, what would excite me even more than that would be able to create the new stars from these local nations and bring them up to the stature of the world-class legends that play the game.
Steve, I asked you about Steve Smith. I also have to ask about Virat Kohli, given the form he has displayed in the one day as he's just played. Would you say again India is going to miss him at the T20 World Cup?
Again, like Steve Smith, these guys are just world-class players. They just keep performing. And they have too much pride not to be successful. They commit 100%. Again, Virat, like Steve Smith, would be successful in any game of cricket he plays in. It's just whether he's got the appetite to play that, and I guess other things come into life when you get a bit older, like family and other issues. But again, he would be a successful player. There's no doubt about that. He's too good not to.
Abhishek, around 2009, just a year after IPL was formed, we were speaking to Shah Rukh Khan. And, he had said that the biggest USP of IPL at that time, it was SRK. And truly it was, because the league was in a nascent stage. Would you say right now the biggest USP of ETPL is Abhishek Bachchan?
I sincerely hope not. I sincerely hope not. Having worked in sports for over a decade now, I'm very well aware that the biggest and truest stars of any sport are the players. And that's who we want to focus on. If I'm available to try and maybe drag a bit of limelight and audiences and fans to the stadium, I'm more than happy to do it. But I'm very well aware, having run 3 teams over the last 10 years, that at the end of the day, the greatest ambassadors for your sport and for the league are going to be the players. I'd rather them be pushed up in front of everybody else to help the league grow. And I don't think as a business model, having a film actor like me become the face of the league is going to be beneficial apart from an initial push.
Abhishek, you've been a very successful sports entrepreneur. When did the thought of entering into cricket come to you? That's the last question.
Well, that was, growing up being an Indian and a cricket fan, you want to be involved in cricket. One of the criteria for me to get involved in sports was, can I make a difference? And the will to want to make a difference. When I first started and I had the confidence and the ability to invest in sport in India and trying to make a difference, obviously cricket is the apex sport and is the crown jewel. But the BCCI does such a fantastic job with cricket back home that I didn't know what I would be able to contribute and in which way. When Kabaddi, football and the Indian Street Premier League came up, these were opportunities where I felt I could do something, I could make a difference, and I could hopefully leave behind a legacy. When the opportunity arose to bring cricket to Europe, here was a market in which we could do work and make a difference. And that's why it fit the bill for what I wanted to do in sport with cricket. So I'm very happy to be involved in the ETPL because I genuinely feel that we have a very special product on hand and a product that is going to change a lot of lives.
Well, Steve and Abhishek, thank you very much for joining us and good luck with your new project.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.